So thank you for being on Hustlers at Home. I so miss you. So number one question I want to ask, or the first question I want to ask you is because folks might not know you are a former educator. Tell us a little bit about your previous life as, was it Ms. Sims, or what would have been how did kids address you?
It was Miss Sims. There was no Jess. It was literally Miss Sims. Yeah, it's so crazy because like the further I get away from it, I'm like, did this really happen to me?
Did that happen? Yeah.
I'm sure you feel the same way with being a lawyer. It's like,
yeah.
Do I have proof? Like,
yeah,
it's so hard. But I did Teach for America. So I'm from Boston, went to school in Hartford, Connecticut. And then I got selected to do Teach for America in Houston. So I taught 5th grade math, which was tough. I taught 3rd grade everything. And then I was recruited to open up an elementary school as a kindergarten teacher in Harlem.
What's the best grade that you taught? What was your favorite?
So that's the really tough. I loved them for so many different reasons. Like,
yeah, I'm sure.
You could have real talk with them. Like, you don't have to sugarcoat things. Like, you can have real talk with them. 3rd graders, they're trying to be cool, but like they still love.
They're still babies. Yeah.
And then the kindergartners, first of all, that was a learning curve because my roommate at the time, she did the opposite. I went down the ladder. I did 5th, 3rd, and then kinder. She did pre-K 3, pre-K 4, and then kindergarten. So she's like, these kids are so independent. And I'm like, I said, they're running around all around. It's like herding cats. So I'm like, come on, guys, come on. So we had very.
Oh my God. What's the number one piece of advice you would give to parents who are needing to wear the educator hat right now at home?
One of the best, that's a good question. One of the best discussions. Oh, hey dog. That's my dog.
Hi, Sienna.
Just make your way, honey. Just go ahead right on the couch. I would say the best piece of advice we got, so when I was a kindergarten teacher, I was one of 18 members. It was a founding school. We just opened up with kindergarten. And it was a co-teaching model. So there were 2 fully certified teachers in each of the 5 classrooms. And then, of course, some support staff. So 18 people total. We had a ton of meetings. And we got into this really huge but important debate about telling kids about when they should be quiet and when they should be silent. Because if you think about it, old school thought is like, you do your work, you're silent, you're this. But it's like, if we're preparing kids for the real world, and I do work with music. I do work, sometimes I chat with my friend a little bit, and like, you have to learn those skills of what helps you be productive, and like, what do we actually need them to do? Do we need silence, or do we just need quiet? And so I think that to translate into parents and caregivers at home is, what do your kids actually have to, like, what do they need to do instead of what do you think they should be doing? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Like what's the goal, not the to-do list?
Yes. Like, stop wasting energy enforcing things that don't really need to be enforced, if you think about it.
I honestly can't even imagine your patience. I was just talking to Ross about my impatience. Your patience must be saintly.
But it's so funny.
You're like, yeah, it's pretty good.
If you ask any of my family members, they'd be like, she has no patience. None whatsoever.
Context.
Of course. Yeah, it's just so funny. To finish the 5th, 3rd, and the kindergarten, it's like, yes, the kindergartners would do wild stuff. Like, I mean, wild stuff. Like, full on pick their nose and you're like, yes, like wild stuff. But you can't be mad at them for more than like 3 minutes, because then they're like, Miss Sims, like big hug, and they're just so cute.
Like, so rewarding, but so exhausting.
Oh, that's the thing. Like, people are like, oh, your Saturday 60, it's 60 minutes. It's so exhausting to like talk and run. And I'm like, have you ever spent 8 hours plus with 4 and 5-year-olds? This isn't exhausting.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Jess, you're like, okay. Saint Jess. That's one of your multi-hyphenate monikers now. Oh my God. So I know you're a foodie. I know you're a dessert gal, and I've heard Tunde and you and Tunde have like little dessert dates. Yes. Or donut dates. If you could only eat one dessert for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh my God. See, why do you? Okay, all right. That is
with hard-hitting questions.
That is literally. I'm sweating. Carrot cake is my favorite thing because I love cream cheese frosting. But at
Okay.
Donut Project, which is what I've literally been keeping in business since being in quarantine, so I order it multiple times a week, they have a cinnamon roll glazed donut, and it has cheese frosting on top.
Tunde mentioned this.
It's
like, it sounds like a vibe.
But Robin, here's the worst part is like, worst but best is they don't stop there. And that every weekend they have like a special version of it. So they had a salted, sea salt Nutella version of it. And then they had a birthday cake version of it. It's like, if you're celebrating.
Birthday cake is my jam.
Well, I mean, you need to get it. Like, I have a picture of it, and it's like, it's my birthday. It's not my birthday. But everyone needs to have
every day's your birthday. Okay, so we got that. So, how do you feel about raisins in carrot cake?
So I like walnuts in carrot cake, but raisins.
So do I.
Raisins, no. There's no.
I picked them out.
Smart.
Like, I'm not offended that they're there. I'm like, okay, I understand why you were invited to this party, but now you're trying to exit. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel about, like, raisins need to be expected to be there, not a surprise guest.
Yeah, no, they should never be a surprise guest in things like, I'm still upset for you about your chocolate chip cookie.
It actually, like, it like irrationally enraged me. Like, it was like my one treat that I was looking, it was in my cabinet for 2 days. And you know when you have that thing where you're just like, all right, I'm going to get through this meeting and I'm going to get through this thing and I'm going to get through, you just sit down. And I was like, first bite, rogue raisin.
I hope they send you a whole new bag of them, because that's just not okay. Really not.
Oh no, but this is the worst part, is that they closed shortly thereafter. They didn't stay open through like all this crazy in quarantine in New York. So, hey, worse things have happened than a rogue raisin, but that was definitely like a memory that I'm going to have from this time. That it's like both hysterical and also.
No, they'll make it up to you. Once this is over, you're going to get a big care package, and you're going to invite me over and fucking share them with you.
Okay, yeah, well, that's a deal. So Maddie has a history of playing jokes on you. And the most iconic one was a Halloween prank where he dressed up as like a 10-foot ogre, or like a 10-foot like skeleton.
Grim Reaper.
Grim Reaper.
Yes.
Do you have plans to get him back, and how can we help you?
So you know what's the best part? I love our Peloton community so much because so many people have reached out with ideas. So I screenshotted a bunch of the ideas, but it has to be when he least expects it.
Of course. Like, you can't disclose, like, we can't say now what it's going to be, but
I know. But don't worry. I have two, I've narrowed it down to 2 really good ideas.
Okay. It's in the works. Because like, obviously we love Maddie, but like, it's seared in my brain, like that image of you walking on the tread. Your composure actually was incredible. It must be the past like hazing by 4-year-olds.
Right, but you know what the craziest part is? The one time to use the emergency stop button would have been that moment, but I still used the knob. Like, the fact that I had the wherewithal to like just go like this.
100%. The fact that you didn't just leap off that tread is incredible.
Right, and the worst part was like, it was a 7 a.m. class. So it wasn't even 7 a.m. It was 6:55. And
it's too early.
It was too early for that. But
for those shenanigans.
Bex scared me. She did like the little preview scare. So my adrenaline, like I was sweating. I already had the glazed donut look getting on the tread before.
Yeah.
It was no. So Bex also needs to get that. We still need to figure out Bex.
Oh, because Bex was involved too?
So yes, so as soon as I walked into the studio, Bex was there wearing her, remember, did you see her costume?
Oh, sure, her scary, it was beyond. That costume was beyond.
I watched her class afters because she kept it on for the intro. So she was like, my name is Bex Gentry. And I'm like,
it was so scary. No, it was. There was like, it felt.
Yes.
I was like, wait, I don't know how I feel about this.
And so I walked in and she was hiding behind the door and she jumped out and scared me.
So it was double.
It was double. So then I get on the tread and they distracted me. So I'm telling the story about Bex.
So you thought, oh, I've already been pranked. If I'm going to get pranked, I already have.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That was the setup.
Robin, I'm going to start asking questions because our production team, I got trust issues now. Because I walked in and Meredith and Mike were both there. And I was like, that's weird that both of them are here. It's usually just one of them, but I don't think anything of it. And Meredith says to me, you're going to go live to camera, whatever is the one on the left. And I was like, is camera one broken? She's like, and her and Mike looked at each other like, and I'm like, okay, I won't ask questions. And so I went live and it was camera one. And then immediately it went over to camera two. And that's when that mother effer came in. Okay? It was like perfectly executed. It's like irritatingly executed.
I know. It was like irritatingly good. You are such a good sport.
Right.
So Sienna made a guest appearance on Hustlers at Home. I asked Tunde Caesar's spirit human. And she said Steve Harvey. Who is Sienna's spirit human?
She said Steve Harvey? That is the most random and hilarious thing ever. I mean, oh my God. Oh my gosh. Who's like a sassy, like, oh my gosh, that's a hard one. Would I say Chrissy Teigen?
Oh, I live for Chrissy Teigen.
I live for Chrissy. I live for their whole
She's so funny. She's so gorgeous. She's so like, she's authentic, but yeah, aspirational. Like I can't, the whole situation. Like she and John Legend seem like they are so obsessed with each other, but still have like a genuine playfulness that you can only hope to have, it's just so amazing.
I'm obsessed.
Oh,
Luna and Miles.
How do humans look like that? Like I'm such a creep. Like I zoom in on her posts and I'm like, look at these beautiful people.
They're my favorite though is like Luna has the little attitude now. It's like she's so spicy and she's like, no pictures. Like she was just like yelling at her. I was like, yes, Luna, let her know. So maybe actually Luna is Sienna.
So Luna, that's
yes.
amazing. Luna is Sienna's spirit human.
Yes.
Luna Teigen or Legend, or Luna of the Chrissy and John Legend progeny. That is so good. So let's get into rapid fire questions in a plank. It is Hustler's Choice on the plank. The number to beat is 12.
12?
It's 12. So that means you have to be quick with your quick with your responses.
All right.
Brevity is key here because we only have a minute. You get set up, take your time.
Whew, okay.
I was telling RK that this is a karma for all the planks and crazy stuff you've made people do on the tread and boot
camp. You are gonna love this.
All right, 3, 2, and 1. If you get a dinner with anyone tonight, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oprah.
Ooh. First job you ever had?
Chili's hostess.
Favorite place you've ever traveled?
Turks and Caicos.
Current mood in one word?
Happy.
Something you cooked or baked in the last few weeks you normally wouldn't do. What you bake?
Oatmeal.
Go-to karaoke songs?
I hate karaoke.
3 words that best describe you?
Sassy, energetic, passionate.
Morning or night person?
Morning.
Go-to kitchen music?
Woo! 90s R&B.
Middle name?
Robin.
Ooh! What would the title of your memoir be?
This is special.
First concert?
Spice Girls.
Best career advice?
Just do it.
Oh, salty or sweet?
Sweet.
Oh, good. You got it. Okay, let's see.
I'm so...
1,
wow.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14! Yeah, you smashed that.
Sienna's pumped. Sienna, you were so excited. Give me a kiss.
Sienna, are you excited?
Come on. Mommy won. She's like, I don't give a shit. She's like, I do not care. I don't think Luna would care if Chrissy Teigen won anything either. That is so true. Oh my God, I'm gonna start calling you Luna.
Maybe Luna is Sienna's middle name now.
Oh
my gosh. So now is your opportunity to put the host in the hot seat. Do you have a question for me?
As a matter of fact, I do.
Did you just bust out an eye?
Yes, I did. And so since we both love 90s music, you have a little rapid fire, okay, just to warn you.
Okay.
Don't overthink it.
Okay.
Brandy or Monica?
Brandy.
SWV or En Vogue?
Ooh, En Vogue. That's a hard one though.
TLC, Salt and Pepper?
Salt and Pepper, but that breaks my heart. That
Lauryn
doesn't
Hill,
feel right.
I know, you got a little pain right here.
That just gave me like acid reflux. What was that one?
Drew, get her some water. Lauryn Hill or Mary J?
Lauryn Hill forever.
Oh, I like the confidence on that. And then I have to throw one guy group in here. Babyface or Keith Sweat?
Ooh. You know what? Keith Sweat for the body rolls, Babyface for the longevity. Like Babyface is not going anywhere. He's involved in almost every track we've liked for the past 30 years. But Keith Sweat would be my choice.
Okay, done. Keith Sweat brings me back to middle school dances where like our headmaster would like walk around with a ruler and say, you need this much space in between someone. So.
Yeah, like, da, 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 da. Yeah, 100%. So you're obviously a music lover. Are you a dance lover? Because you're not a concert lover. You're a very complex person, Justin.
Robin, I'm trying to use this quarantine time to understand myself a little bit better. You're asking all the same questions I'm asking myself, okay? I used to think that I was the most extroverted person in the world, but now I'm realizing, like, my quarantine life is not much different than my regular life, outside of teaching at Peloton.
No, me neither.
How do you actually, that's a question for you. How do you feel about that? Because sometimes I'm like, is that a bad thing? And I'm like, actually, that could be a good thing. I don't know. How do you feel?
Well, you know, what's interesting is that I know I'm introverted by nature, but I obviously have an outsized personality that is very much like the performer side of me. Right. But I know I renew my energy systems quietly and in a mostly solitary environment or with just a very small group of family or friends. But this time has made me crave being more proactive socially. So I think when we're out of this, I will prioritize being proactive socially, because I feel like before I got into really like the intense Peloton hustle, I was much more like the person who would make the plans with a group of friends and say, let's go to this concert or let's go to this or that. And that kind of subsided. And now I'm kind of feeling like I don't want to have any regrets in the time when we can embrace being together again. I don't want to have any regrets. So while I don't have any regrets now for being like appreciative of being home and spending time with my husband and having that solitary time, because I do think it's a gift. Right. I now am seeing that I don't want to miss any opportunities when we're out of it. So I don't apologize for it, but it is making me appreciate my friends more.
I love that. I'm like 100% aligned with that, because I feel like with our jobs, we give so much physically, mentally, and emotionally that's the best thing ever. It's such a blessing and a privilege to have our roles. But then exactly like to rejuvenate and to recharge, I like to be with Sienna. I like to just be in my apartment and I have a beautiful view. So like, I like to just look at the water and just stare. And it's pretty, it's a nice like meditation for me. But
it's so nice. Yeah. It's so nice to have an opportunity to be like, to have that opportunity for contemplation, because I know when we're in our full schedules, we come home and we just my brain is fried. Like I can barely hold a conversation, let alone like hold up a cell phone. You know what I mean? Like it's just like the physicality of our jobs is really intense. The energy expenditure is intense. And of course, like we love it, but it's a blessing right now to have a slight departure from that and be like, oh, this is what it's like when I'm not like collapsing on the floor every day.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's wild to think about. Like I've always kind of wished in the back of my mind to have time like this. Of course, this is very unfortunate circumstances, but I've always wished for kind of just a pause to read the books that I wanted to be reading, to just be at home, to just give my body a rest and like not work out if I'm not in the mood to, or my body's telling me to just sit down, you know? So I do feel like this has been a huge blessing. And I have been FaceTiming a bunch of I reconnected with all my college girlfriends, my high school girlfriends, and like my family. And so I think that as challenging as it's been, it's also been like a pretty beautiful thing for me.
So folks are new to the Jess Sims experience, which is a massively beautiful, fun, and dynamic experience. I think I've taken every single one of your Saturday 60s, literally. I love when you create words for other words. Like, you don't say that we're going to do Tabata, you call it Shmabata. You don't say it, you're like, it's brie cheese mode, not free mode.
Yes.
You slay me every time. You're like, but I would run through a brick wall for you. So where can folks find you, or what class should they take if they're new to you, and where can they find you?
So J Sims Fit on Instagram, and Jessica Sims or Jess Sims on Peloton for Facebook. But I think that my number one thing is I just want people to feel good. You're going to get a great workout regardless, but I just want to make you laugh and make you realize that this is fun. Like, this is the stuff that I want you to crave and not dread, like, oh, I have to work out today because I have this, aesthetic goal. Like, I just want you to live and have fun. And that's why I say all that ridiculous stuff. And also I say, as I'm running on a tread, y'all, I can't be held responsible for the things I say. Whatever comes to my brain, it's coming out. All right. I can't bring it back. I've tried, but I can't. And also it lends itself to me being a teacher. So I would say, other than the Saturday 60, which I definitely encourage everyone to try out because I break it into 10-minute workouts. So for those of us that are not a runner, I say not a runner because you are, if you step on a tread, if you step outside and you take those little jog steps. So it's manageable, where I say 10 minutes, you give it your all, and then your break is in the transition to the floor and back up. The other thing that I will say from being a teacher is the family content that I just launched. So yes. So that's been so exciting. Someone tagged me, Robin. I know you're going to appreciate this. Someone tagged me, and I took a screenshot, and I'm going to make it the background of my phone. They said their son calls me Auntie Jess. I know, Robin, I like
that's like a dream.
Auntie Jess, because she's basically part of the family now. And I was like,
that is so beautiful.
Because that's what Peloton, like, that's what got me so jazzed up to join Peloton, is like, we are uniting the world through fitness, and we are
it's so real.
Generations of just movers and motivators, and it's just, oh God, it gives me the chills just even thinking about it.
Oh my, it's such an amazing, the family content in particular is such an amazing bridging of your two worlds.
Yeah.
And, your personality belongs in front of the camera. It belongs on the grand, like a global scale, but you're still helping people in that pure way that even when you were dealing with however many 4-year-olds, in a school classroom. So it's beautiful. Thank you so much for being on Hustlers at Home. You have brought so much joy to me today.
Oh my gosh, you brought so much joy to the world this morning. So thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love you, and I'm so glad that you are well. Try to keep Sienna, or does Sienna keep you in check, or do you keep her in check?
So,
what's the symbiosis here?
So she keeps me grounded. Like, when I'm hustling, and she's just like, she'll come up and just paw my phone away from me or shut my laptop, and I'm like, you're right, I have been on the phone and the computer too much. But at the same time, like, she wants to know who's boss. So
that's all good. Well, thank you for being on this episode. I'm sending you so much love.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye, love.